Right, there are four types of ways of representing a relation, and a relation is represented by the xy coordinates, or what's called order pairs. And so we have xy. The value of the x goes along the horizontal, and we have a value of y that goes along the vertical. So this one goes up and down, and this one goes left and right. There are four different ways that we can look at order pairs, and we have all four of them up here. The first one is the order pair, which we're familiar with. The next one is a table, which we're using now in our stock market. And the next one is a graph. And then we can use, which is the least common, is called a mapping. And a mapping is just simply putting the domain and range, and this helps us figure out what's called the domain and range. Domain being the x coordinate and the range being the y coordinate. So if we were to take this set of order pairs, we want to represent them as a table, a graph, and a map. The table, we would put the x values in line, and then we would, across from them, put their y values. And then for a graph, we would plot those points. So we have 2, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we put a dot. -2 and 3, we put a dot. 5 and 2, we put a dot. And -1 and -2, we put a dot. And so there's our graph. And our mapping is simply putting all the x values to -2. Draw this a little bit better. 2, -2, 5, -1, and we call that our domain. And then we map it to our range, which are the y values. And my fault, you don't repeat any of the numbers in the map, and so the -2 just has 2 lines to it. The domain is simply the 2, the -2, the 5, and the -1, which are the x values. That's the domain. And the range is the y values, and in this case, the -2 doesn't get repeated. So what we want to look at is, to analyze the graph, we want to compare as time increases, that means the x-axis, so we're going this direction. What happens to the distance? So the distance increases, then stops, and then increases again. So now let's look at what happens for this one. So it increases stops and continues to increase. And so if we look at this next one, where we're looking at change of income, what's happening to income over time? It looks like it's increasing. So it increases.